Mourning, deathlings. That's mourning rather than mourning. Your human notice board here to remind you that the bonus 6 Feet Under episodes are where a whole load of fun happens. So if you want more of me, the guests and the goddesses, completely ad-free, just subscribe on Apple Podcasts or visit wherethere'sawillthere'sawake.com. Ah, a celestial gathering of the most humorous kind. Were this a tale penned by Miss Austen herself? That's the quill scratching. Our dear secretary of the departed, that's me, would assuredly be found presiding over a most genteel afterlife salon where wit and whimsy reign supreme. Esteemed and distinguished company, you are most heartily invited to... Mais oui. Slight gear change. I'm giving you all the characters here. Who has parked their delightful derrière in mon purgatory pit stop this week? Oh la la! Mon Dieu! It is only the très magnifique
Rachel Parris, Rachel Parris, Rachel Parris.
That was so magical. C'est moi.
C'est moi. Rachel Parris.
Rachel Parris.
Ouais.
Oui. La Rochelle.
La Rochelle. C'est La Rochelle. Les demoiselles de Rochelle.
Ah oui, merci.
Do you like having your name sung at you, Rachel? It feels
Yeah, I didn't know I wanted that, but that's exactly what I needed today.
Yeah, isn't it just gorgeous?
I loved that. I used to sing in choirs like that.
Oh, did you?
Not that sung my name. But
yes, that would be a bit narcissistic.
Bit odd.
Yeah.
But like medieval polyphony choirs.
Stop
Yeah.
that. How many people in a polyphonous relationship?
There were about 20 in
So
it.
really bloody close harmonies.
Yeah, close harmonies, nice, odd harmonies. And we sung for like the Archbishop of Canterbury and stuff.
I love
in
that.
candlelit churches.
Oh my gosh.
It was brilliantly spooky.
How lovely. Nothing better than singing in a choir.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, makes you feel good. Listen, I need to go back to this, but only after these guys have done their selling capitalist
Yes,
thing.
right.
Don't go away. We'll be back after this short break.
Rachelle, I will be calling you that for the entirety of the podcast.
Please.
What are you here to plug? Que pluguez-vous?
Ah, merci, le plug.
Oui.
I'm
C'est
plugging
quoi?
2 things that are related. Mainly, I'm plugging Ostentatious, which is my Jane Austen show.
It's so good.
It's been going, for about nearly 15 years.
I can't
now.
believe that.
I know.
I cannot
Neither
believe
can
that.
I.
And this is the improvised play that you put on,
Yeah.
suggested by the audience,
Yeah.
all about Jane Austen or set in
Exactly.
the Jane Austen world.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're taking this up west, aren't you? You're going to
Yeah.
the West End with
Yes.
this, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, the vaudeville,
And
yeah.
Vaudeville. How long do you have between an audience member throwing out a title and you cracking into the show?
No time.
Oh my God.
No time, literally no time. We're on stage, you can see us. So you just have to build it minute by minute, second by second.
God, I'm going to bring my brother.
Yes.
This is going to sound a bit weird, but he's a gorgeous man. He's the biggest fan of Pride and Prejudice, not the Colin Firth version, the one prior in the late 70s.
That is unexpected.
Jane Garvey as Elizabeth Bennet and David Rintoul as Darcy.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my goodness. He's a huge fan. He watches it, I would
amazing.
say, once a month. So I will be bringing him.
Love that for him. I love that for
He's
him.
amazing.
May I just mention
Go
that
on.
he might like, I've written a book, which is a Pride and Prejudice sequel,
The bit about Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
So clever.
following Charlotte Lucas's story after Pride and
So
Prejudice.
clever.
It's called Introducing Mrs. Collins.
Thank you.
And it's out in November. So if he likes Pride and Prejudice, he might like that.
That's Christmas sorted.
Christmas sorted.
Rachelle, we shall tool on up,
Yeah.
as they say. Not
David
literally.
Rintoul on up.
David, thank you.
That's for your brother.
We shall rintoul on up to the vaudeville of a Monday,
Yeah.
sometime between now and the end of the year, and we shall be darkening your doors, but not in a spooky, stalky way,
No.
just in a very respectful way.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with all those lovely people in Austen times, this is a link and it's creaky, is that they do tend to die very, very young. And I'm so sorry to hear, dear Rachelle, about your demise.
Thank you.
I really am.
Yeah.
We were all gutted.
Thank you.
Really,
That's nice to hear.
Trey gutted. Now, could I ask you, before we sort of get into the chunk of this chat, 3 quick-fire reasons, please, why you think you should be admitted into...
I'm never going to get tired of that.
This sits well with you, doesn't it?
Well, there's one reason, is that I can do some of the music. I get the impression there's harps playing.
Harps.
You know, there's choral singing.
Lyres, maybe?
Lyres, yeah. And I think, look, I don't play the harp, but I feel like I could pick it up.
I think you could.
You know, I play the piano and I feel like they're not the same thing. Never been big on strings, but I feel like if I want this a lot.
Yeah.
And I could learn the harp. I could hop into an alto role in the Heavenly Choir.
Of course you could.
So I feel like I want to work for it, and I'll do the musician's job. I'll be a gigging musician.
You'll put in the hours.
I'll put in the hours.
That's really good. And also, I imagine, there's a lot of hours up there.
Of course,
that you're going to be doing.
Probably, is it better than musicians' union rates?
I think you've got to be. I'd have to make calls.
Okay.
I'm happy to. If you want me to lift the phone, I can always ask for you.
Not yet. It's too soon.
It's too soon, isn't it?
To ask, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too soon. Anything else? Any other reasons?
I don't want to sound grasping or manipulative, but I have worked for the church a lot. I was in a sort of official church choir for a few years, and then I worked for a church school, Church of England school, playing for communion.
Oh, what?
And stuff like
Sure.
that, and for their church services, played the hymns and everything. And I was the organist at my church growing up.
Matey, Rachel, I'm saying that you're a card-carrying heaven-goer.
All of it depends is if God actually approves of the church, which I think is in doubt,
Yes.
It's because that already, what I've mentioned, encompasses Methodist, Catholic and Church of England. So
it's a broad church.
Which one's it's literally a broad,
very broad
church.
I'm gonna note this down, because I note everything down. And what I'll put is ecumenical. Because I think don't pin your colours too closely to one mast. Because if you go too closely with the Catholics, there's all sorts of murky business.
Yeah.
Similarly with C of E. Methodists, they're pretty all right, aren't they?
Yeah, Methodists.
Are they good
nice.
at the moment?
Yeah.
There's no massive scandal with the Methodist Church, is there?
Not with the Methodist Church.
No. I'll say you're a Methodist.
Thanks.
I'll say you're a Methodist, but Catholic C of E adjacent.
Yeah. Flexible.
Ecumenical, flexible. I think that'll go down.
Do you think that'll work?
I've got a good feeling about you, Rachelle. I have to say, more than most of the guests I've had sitting in that chair.
Amazing.
I sense good things. Anything that you need to get off your chest before decisions are made?
I've been thinking about whether to say this or not, because it really is me outing myself now. It's the first time I've officially said it.
At all, ever?
At all.
Right. Spill.
I really, if I'm honest, don't really like cats or dogs.
Oh.
I really don't.
Oh.
and people get really cross about it, but I feel like it's been growing. I've always hated cats. I really always hated cats since I was a child. It was a family thing, and it's continued. But dogs, I have liked. I can get on board with quite dogular dogs, Labrador.
Yeah.
A dog-sized dog that acts like a dog.
Not a funny sort of little,
I suppose it's the owners who don't pick up dog poo, which seems from the mire outside where I live to be all owners. That it's really made me cry. It's really put me off dogs.
What's worse though, dog poo or cat poo? Because I'd say cat poo.
We used to get a lot of cat poo in our garden, and that was foul.
That is vomit-inducing.
That is foul.
I've never owned a cat, but I would rather have dog poo than cat poo. If hell is going into a sort of waist-deep mire of faeces,
You'd rather
I'd rather
it was
go dog.
But
I'd rather
it's
go
more,
dog.
It's more, isn't it? Dog poo.
There's the volume.
bigger.
There's more. Yeah, the volume is
But
bigger.
yeah, cat poo is a little horrible little kernel of foulness.
Yeah. It's
Horrible.
So what pet have you got? Have you got a pet?
We did have a chameleon,
Oh,
Roy.
I'm trying to sound really enthusiastic. Oh,
okay.
Hang on, chameleon lizard,
Yeah,
lizard family
yeah, lizard family.
that changes colour,
Yeah.
changes personality.
Yes. Changes colour according to how his mood is.
Right.
And Roy was a lovely pet.
Roy's a great name.
Yeah.
Roy is very strong. Roy is very strong.
He passed away. He'll be up here.
Yeah, you'll be reunited.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get in.
If fingers crossed. If Roy definitely got in. He was an angel. Yeah, Roy was a lovely pet to have. And lived a long, happy life.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What's the average lifespan of a chameleon?
About 9 years. And he lived
And he
about
did 9
years in captivity.
Oh, that's pretty good, isn't
Yeah.
it? That's pretty good.
He was lovely. He had a lovely temperament, not like some chameleons can be a bit hissy.
I was going to say, for a cold-blooded
He was lovely.
amphibian.
He'd be very keen to come and walk on your arm.
Roy Keane.
Roy Keane.
Come on.
Lovely.
Now, Rachel, Rachelle, I need to drill down into some important detail here.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, I want to know all about the Last Supper. What were you eating?
It's carbonara.
Ah.
Because statistically, that's likely what I'll be eating.
Give me, please, your carbonara. I'd like your recipe, please.
Well, you want to do the thing where you put like a raw egg
Hot
into
spag,
it.
yes.
Yeah, hot pan. You don't want the sort of just creamy
No, well,
business.
yeah.
I
Whole egg.
personally don't want pancetta. I actually prefer bacon because it
Okay.
crisps up nice and thin because I don't want to have chunks of gristle.
Yeah.
I would like crispy bacon bits going into it. But I do want the raw egg stirred into it until you've got a lovely, quite an orangey, eggy carbonara. And
Yeah.
then I'll have a glass of rosé as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, just the one?
Just one.
Just the little one?
I can't take any more.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, it's terrible, isn't it?
So sad.
Gone,
So sad.
gone are those days.
Those days are
my
gone.
friend, aren't they? Big
All
time.
my days are gone.
Oh, yes. Yes, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to keep rubbing it in. All your days are actually gone. Now, I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of Italian pudding / dessert.
Tiramisu.
Genuinely.
Genuinely.
Big old slab of that.
Yes.
I would like, I'd like to actually, I'd follow you with that.
You'd follow me into the gates of heaven.
Yes. I wouldn't mind.
Hell?
Hell. Oh.
How good is this tiramisu?
I would follow you. No, what am I saying? I think I'd almost like to die eating tiramisu.
Yeah.
That would be quite a good way to go.
Yeah. And actually the amount of I'm going to say carbs, dual meaning,
Yeah.
that you had beforehand
Yeah.
make death feel imminent.
Yes.
From really the second bite.
God, do you know what? I have not eaten carbonara for about 4 years, I'm going to say. I need to have one. Now, Rachelle, this is all very well, but I, please, would like to hear more about... So what happens? What was the that was going down?
I'll tell you what I would like to happen.
Okay.
I'd like to go on a really long, lovely walk by myself
Oh.
and get lost
Oh.
in nature.
Oh.
In like, I don't know,
Oh.
somewhere like the Peak District. right?
Yeah.
The Lake
Okay.
District.
So moorland,
Moorland.
hills, quite open spaces up there.
There's plenty of woodland. as well.
Woodland. You're going to woodland.
And cliffs.
yeah.
you know.
Okay.
I don't want to necessarily fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
What I would like is to basically just be, because I do feel like there's a big theme in my life, which is the quest for peace and quiet.
Right.
I love the quest for peace. I love
Yeah.
peace and quiet.
Yeah.
And I like walking in nature more than anyone else that I live with.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm going to go, I'd like to go off by myself.
Yeah.
Got some snacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
some snacks.
Yeah. Good.
And I'd like to just wander freely, like a pilgrim or something.
Oh.
and just see loads and loads of beautiful bits of earth, and then keep going until
And then
I just
keel?
do
Just keel?
I feel like there's a Greek myth about this, but basically just keel over,
Keel.
covered in leaves,
Yeah.
right into the earth.
Yeah. But would anyone find you?
Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break.
I do keel over, but you know Snow White?
Yes.
You know how there's like a really elaborate casket in the middle of the forest?
Yes.
I'll find that and I'll lay on that.
Oh.
Then I'll be found and I'll look nice and it won't be traumatic.
And she's covered in glass.
Yeah.
So aesthetically, it is
Aesthetically, it's
really
nice.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
Good. And you won't decompose. You won't decompose. You will
No.
stay magically like Snow White, just completely.
Well, for enough time that people can say bye.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to not decompose ever
No,
because that's odd. I
that's
think.
weird. Chairman Mao. Ooh.
Yes, exactly.
Embalming. No thanks.
Yeah, people
Snow-
who want to. There's a lot of weird tech bros now trying to live forever, and I'm like, you have to let yourself go.
Yeah, definitely let yourself go.
Both before and after death.
Yes.
You have to let yourself go.
You won't be able to put the lid of the glass casket onto maybe the woodsman. The woodsman will come through.
Woodsman.
Maybe Marcus,
Yeah.
your lovely husband,
Yeah.
maybe in some kind of woodsman type outfit
Love this.
with a bow and arrow and an axe, looking pretty good on
But
horseback.
this made me a bit sad that I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'd like that to play out maybe before I die.
Yeah. I can see him in a thigh-length boot.
Maybe we'll do a rehearsal.
Strong.
In
You're both
advance.
performers. You're
Yeah.
both professionals.
Yeah. Put the work in. Act it out first, and then he can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, poor old Jane Austen. She didn't go in a good way, did she?
No.
So sad.
She got dragged to
Rachelle.
Winchester as well. I mean, Winchester's lovely, but she
Yeah.
didn't want to go. She just wanted to be at home.
She was always at the behest of other people, though, wasn't she?
Yes.
As an unmarried lady of a certain age.
Yes.
And she was, what, 42 when she died?
Yeah, 41 or 42.
I read a thing that said that she stretched herself out over 3 wooden chairs when she was dying
Did you?
because she didn't want her mum not to have the sofa.
Oh my God. Come on, Jane Austen.
Come on, Jane.
Give yourself a bed. Give
I
yourself a
know.
sofa.
That makes me feel really sad.
I think it's like, I know life has changed a lot, but there's some things that are so relatable. And that end of her life thing of them going, come to Winchester because there's a doctor who's got the right medicine. And this is where you're going to be saved. And you've got, and her going, I just want to be here and be in my home. And them going, no,
You're coming.
you're coming because this might wait you well. And her going and then dying like a really short time later, somewhere that she didn't want to be, that wasn't her home, which like we've all been there with relatives where that's happened, whether it's a hospital or something else where you're like, those difficult decisions to be made, like near the end of death.
Yeah. Her sister was a good one, though, wasn't she?
Such a good one. But then her sister also sacrificed happiness. Like she was engaged when she was young and he
Buggered off.
Buggered off.
Yeah.
He died. And but then she had other options, other great options,
man.
even someone she loved, but she said no. And she sort of chose to like be a spinster with Jane. And
Is there some connection between all these women in Austen's time dying really young and having their breasts on display with those bloody low-cut empire dresses?
do you think they caught a chill in their boobs?
That can't have been good. I always think that when I'm watching a Jane Austen drama. Just wear a muffler. Wear
be
more
warmer.
up here.
Be warmer.
Because it was very much that style, wasn't it?
Yes. There were Victorian satirical cartoons that took the piss massively
Out of
their grandmothers for looking really slutty.
Oh, God.
They thought that era was like really slutty. And
Well, it all
was
came
such a
from
brief
France, didn't
time.
it?
Yeah.
It all came from Ruddy Josephine and
It was
Ruddy
such a
Napoleon.
brief time that they had their boobs out. It was like really only like really, it was only a 30-year period really where that was the fashion. And before and after, it was all quite,
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
That's what I've never thought of that. Oh,
Yeah.
this is Rachelle. We're getting everything here today. We're getting nuggets, we're getting recipes, we're getting lots of comedy, and also some bloody great historical content. This is the podcast that straddles all subjects. Now, obviously, we're really, really sorry that you've gone. I've said that before, and I will say it again.
Thank you.
I think it's fair to say that all of our listeners are very, very sad that you've gone. So I think it's time that we turn to them for solace, and we hear. Oh, I felt like I was in church then.
Yes.
That with the way the organ just went, I felt that was very churchy.
You got a shiver.
I love that. And I looked round and you were going like that. It was lovely. It's lovely. Now, in Herb's Crutch, there is a death notice from one of our gorgeous listeners. So if you wouldn't mind, Rachelle, doing the honneur.
This is from Terry Jones.
Stop it.
R.I.P.
Oh,
Lovely Terry Jones.
Terry Jones, one of the Pythons, of course. Was he the amazing artist? I think he
I think
was,
that
wasn't
was
he?
Gilliam.
Gilliam, Terry Gilliam.
Gilliam.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that Terry Jones, but who knows?
Yeah.
This is from Terry Jones in Portsmouth.
Great.
Hi, Mel and Death Gang. My dad passed away a couple of years ago, and when we did the big clear out, we came up with ways to make it less intense and sad. He was a hilarious man and a bit of a hippie. He was very loving, but not great on admin, i.e. remembering our birthdays or, God forbid, an anniversary. Me, my sister and my mum found all his old diaries and decided that we'd look up those dates that our birthdays, etc. fell on. And if yours wasn't in there, you had to take a shot.
That is genius, Terry.
He loved a drink, so it seemed extra appropriate. Needless to say, we were all feeling quite sozzled by the end. Good on him. Miss him madly. Oh, my love, Terry Jones.
Oh, that's really
So nice.
good, Terry. I love that. Do you know something, Terry? I'm not just saying this because you have said this via the death notice. I've got all of my mum's diaries. She died a year ago. I've got all my mum's diaries from the mid-70s to deal with. And I'm too sad to go into them.
You haven't gone in yet?
Haven't gone in. But also, if we could find a kind of fun way.
Yes.
That's giving me thoughts, Terry. Isn't that marvellous?
Love that.
Really, really good.
Does it make you wish? Do you keep a diary?
I'm crap.
I don't, and
I can imagine that you would keep a diary, actually.
I did when I was a teenager, but like
I did when I was for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I looked at them and it's just all food. It's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
What about food?
Literally what I ate that day. For breakfast, I ate Weetabix and milk and had a glass of orange. You know, for lunch at school, we had da-da-da. And then for tea at home. It's literally, it's so boring.
Mine was really vitriolic and I threw it away and I regret it. I hugely regret it.
Was it just 1 year or was it a kind of
No, it was
series?
a few. I did it when I was about 13.
Yeah.
13, 14, I had one. And then I missed a few years. And then when I was like 17, I had one. And and I reread them and I found them so horrible.
About cats and dogs.
Bitter.
Those
genuinely was like some cat hating in it. But I found them so bitter that I thought I really don't want anyone to ever find them and read them about me.
So did you burn?
I think I chucked. I just chucked.
Wow.
But I regret it because, you know, everyone was a bit weird as a teenager.
Yeah.
And like, it was like, I remember some of it was just, I was so obsessed with boys. And there was a really, really cringe bit that I just think, you know, might bring comfort to teenagers who are as cringe as that, where I used to fancy my friend's older brother. Classic.
Natch.
Obviously.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
And like, I'd literally like listed, like during my visit to her, like sleepover, where he'd been there in the house, like I'd listed like signs that he might possibly fancy me. And they were very tenuous.
Like what? He opened a door.
Like he came in the morning and sat on the bed.
Oh, that's quite forward.
Yeah.
I'd say you were in there,
right?
Rachelle. Yeah, actually.
Or like we were like, he offered to like hold something that I was holding or something like that.
I think that's a pretty good sign. I think retrospectively, I think you could have been in there.
We did snog in the end.
Did you?
Many years later. Yeah. So look, the signs were there.
The signs blooming were there. And was it a good snog after all that wait?
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, Rachelle. Could he have been the one? No. No. No one's as good as Marcus Brigstocke. No, absolutely. No, that's very good. Terry, thank you very much. I've suddenly panicked. Terry Jones was in the Pythons, wasn't he? There were two Terrys. There was Gilliam and Jones.
Terry Jones, yeah.
What are the chances of that in a comedy sketch outfit?
Terry's everywhere.
Terry's everywhere.
Absolute terrarium.
Now, are you any good at drinking games, Rachel? No.
I had a few years in my 20s where I was a good drinker.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, we've said because you're only having one glass of rosé at your last supper.
Yeah, and I would say so. Marcus, my husband, is teetotal.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's a complete coincidence that fits in very well with me because I had already, before we got together, I'd really started winding down.
Yeah,
and I can't take it. It gives me a headache, depression, anxiety, like
total dehydration.
Yeah,
the bad breath.
Which is a shame. I kind of love the idea of just getting drunk.
Same.
But
I'll still do it once or twice a year.
I'll do it once or twice a year. But the last time I did it, I went out with some old school friends and we haven't seen each other in ages. And it's like we all signed up to get really messy, like we hadn't seen each other in ages. And like, it was kind of clear, all of us very sensible. It's like a really top barrister.
Cool. I was going to say, was there a lawyer in there?
Very high powered women here, all with the responsibility, all of us mums. And we really went for it quite consciously, I think. And we had the best night out I've had for 10 years. It was so good. We literally danced on tables. And then I got too drunk and I vomited out of a taxi.
Great. Good girl. Well done for doing it. Well done for doing it out of a taxi.
Yes.
Very well done.
And
well done.
Then I haven't been so drunk that I was sick since the years when my friend owns such a nice house and garden and I was sick in her garden.
Of course you were.
And it's like that felt really wrong, at this stage.
Did you just pop outside?
Yeah.
Was it in a flower bed or was it?
I think it was next to a pot.
Oh, in a trug.
In a trug. And I can't stress enough, this is so not, I just don't get drunk anymore. I hardly drink. So I had a massive, massive panic attack that night and all day afterwards.
Oh no.
Because I can't do it anymore.
I'm so sorry.
I can't do it anymore. But you know what? Worth it for that night. The night out was really great.
I'm just recalling an absolutely absurd mum's night out.
Yeah.
So, your school friends' mums, and they were actually a bloody good laugh.
Yeah.
We didn't go out that often. And I swear down, one of our nights out ended up with one of the mums laminating her pubes. She had a small portable laminator and some of the pubes got laminated. Isn't that great?
That's brilliant.
I'd sort of forgotten that, but just hearing about you being
so
sick in
good.
someone's garden.
So good.
Oh, it's strong, isn't it?
And the next morning, she'd be like, no, you do have to have blueberries in your cereal.
Yes.
Theo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Joshua, are you sure about that choice of university? Isn't it? It's mad. God, that's very good. Mum's on the lash.
Yeah.
Now, Terry, awesome. Loved that about your dad's diaries. And I should say to all our amazing listeners, if you would like your mail read out to one of our incredible guests, such as the lumineuse Rachel Parris, all you have to do is get in touch. The email address is mel@deathpodcast.co.uk. We go through all your correspondence, Scout's Honour, and we do it all on 6 Feet Under, which is our little adjacent podcast that you know and love. It's more of this, but kind of, I don't know, the same. No, it's not the same. No, because we have one of the goddesses with us as well. You know what I mean? I didn't give that a very good sell. It's a cracking side podcast.
Not needed. People know its worth. People know its value.
Thank you. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or head to where there's a will, there's a wake.com for all those details. Did you like that? Slightly slowing down while I look just at this little note that we've made for ourselves. Right. Ms. Parris, Mademoiselle, Madame Parris, tu es morte. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Désolé.
Merci. Désolé. I would very much like to know what happened at...
The funeral.
That one's really chirpy.
It's very chirpy.
So nice.
So what happened?
It was like, have you ever seen Bill Bailey doing the Cockney intro?
Oh, so strong. Yes.
It was like that. The funeral.
Yes.
The funeral. Right. I've decided my funeral is going to be actually where I got married because I loved it. And I think it'd be nice. It's Battersea Arts Centre.
That is such a nice building.
I know.
Sorry for those out of London.
Sorry for those out of London, but you can come.
Can come. It's
can
amazing. They've got this sort of extraordinary where they used to do tea dances.
The big hall?
The big hall with the...
That's where we got married.
That's where we got married. That is a gorgeous room.
It's such an amazing room and I love it for lots of reasons. One is that it's a really incredible, thriving community arts centre still.
It's brilliant.
With like new theatre happening and...
Tryouts for Edinburgh galore still. All those young uns coming through doing the tryouts in Battersea Arts Centre.
It's a beautiful historic building and it burned down.
Yeah.
And they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
But what I love about it, and this is what I wanted to get married, that is they've rebuilt it. The ceiling is just spectacular, but they've left the scars of the fire there. So the walls, you can see the burn marks on the walls and it makes it more special.
Was that lack of budget? I'm just asking.
I mean, I'm sure they need help, which is why I'd like to hire it and give something back.
But you're right, though. Actually, the aesthetic of the room that you're left with. Sorry, I've got very sort of grand designs there. I went a bit of a cloud. Sorry. It really works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sort of slightly rough and ready, slightly trendy. No, it's good. That's a really good space. I like that.
Yeah, I'd have it there.
Yeah, lovely. And are we going big? Well, you can't invite the people. People just turn up at a funeral, don't they?
People just come, don't they?
So I'm imagining a lot of people are going to turn up.
I'd like to put on quite a good show for them because it seems a shame not to make the most of the connections I have.
Yeah.
And I think that I can trust the people I know to do that.
Who are they?
Because I think they'd want that
too. Who are they?
Well, obviously my husband, but like all the...
He's still dressed as the woodsman as far as I'm concerned. He's in a moulded leather tunic, some thigh-length boots and with a quiver and possibly a slightly natty Robin Hood-esque.
We're all a quiver. Yeah, you'd want to have... I'd like a big showbiz ridiculous number. So, like something like... what's the one where they've got all the hats and canes?
Oh, yeah.
Singular sensation.
Chorus line.
Chorus line.
Zan, zan, zan. That's so great.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
That would be amazing.
Like, I don't want ha 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 all the way through.
Yeah.
But I think to have like a moment.
But that needs to be rehearsed, right? That needs to be done properly.
It does, but I
not bungled.
Look, I don't want to be an arsehole about this, but I do expect people to rehearse.
For a funeral.
Yeah. For mine, I'm like...
Yes.
Do the work.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Are you rehearsing it? How are we getting to the Battersea Arts Centre?
I don't want to keep saying like as with my wedding, as in death, but I'm really not fussed about vehicles.
Okay.
I got a normal taxi to my wedding.
That's cool.
I'm not...
That's romantic. It's glamorous. It's beautiful. Not a mini cab.
No.
A black cab.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, just whatever gets me there is fine.
Yeah.
And I don't care for those flowers that write things. I don't like them. I love flowers.
Yeah.
I love flowers.
Yes.
But I really don't like flowers in the shape of words. I think they're strange.
I tend to agree. They're also very, very expensive.
Yeah, well, exactly. They're more expensive.
They're super expensive.
The nicer flowers that haven't been shaped into words.
Yeah. Yes, it's a bit. It's like it is. No offense to anybody who goes for the words.
Oh, just whatever feels nice for you.
But
for me, it doesn't feel.
And what would it say? Rachel.
Yes.
Or
mum or wife.
Oh, wife is really sad, isn't it? No, we're not having that. No. Dearly beloved. No, that's too long.
Marcus calls me RP. So if you had one, it would be RP.
Oh, that's quite sweet.
Yeah.
But then it's RIP.
Yeah, yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that.
Not going to do that.
Sorry, I'm taking control.
I would like flowers. I do love flowers. And
so do I.
I'd have like foliage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't want the sort of those traditional flower writing.
Yeah, no, I think you're going along the wrong way. You want it a bit wilder, some wildflowers.
In keeping with how I died.
Yes, maybe Marcus. I suddenly feel really sad for Marcus that you're dying.
Yeah.
Marcus picks he finds you in the glade, and then he picks all the verdant wildness around you.
You are making it sadder for yourself. You're making it sadder.
And he's still in his costume.
Yeah.
And then he weaves that into your coffin.
I'm picturing it. No, it's
I'm taking over your funeral. I'm really sorry.
It's too sad. It's not that it's too sad. It's that I can't see Marcus weaving.
Okay.
Weave.
More of a plonker? By that I mean just plonking. He's not a plonker.
I mean, look, his love language is like acts of service. It's like make you something, cook you something, bring you something.
They're the best. They're the best because they're the most real. My husband does that.
Yeah.
He cleans my shoes.
Yeah.
That to me is better than a box of chocks.
Yes.
And a bedding.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break.
What's going on at the wake? Are people going to absolutely let fly and be throwing up outside of taxis?
Knowing my friends, it's the musical theatre that's going to be.
And the Ostentatious crew, what will they be doing at the wake?
I love
love
that, like,
them.
you're really worried
them.
about
I'm worried about them.
the Ostentatious crew, even though they're a group.
I know.
They've
I worry.
got themselves for company.
Actually, I know, but will they be improing?
Well, they've also got. You think they're going to be doing sad impro in the corner? Yeah, they probably will.
I think
they will, but that's their therapy, isn't it?
Yeah. I like the idea of. I mean, I'm imagining that mourners in Austen's time, it would have just been no boobs, or would it have been boobs?
I think you're right. I think no boobs for
funerals. Lots of black, lots of sort of empire-y feathers.
So they would have had a wake, but women didn't go to the funeral in Austen's time.
What?
I know.
What the fuck?
I know.
What the effing jeffing Austen?
It's so annoying.
That's so weird.
The church bit, but especially the grave bit, it was only men.
Only
women were expected
blokes.
to stay at home.
That is balls, isn't it?
I know.
I did not know that.
Bull.
Real old bull.
They thought that women were too sensitive and would faint and swoon.
So who went to Jane Austen's funeral then, Rachel?
Like
who
it would have
there? Just
been
blokes?
her brothers, I guess. Couple of pals.
And not even Cassandra, her sister.
No.
She wouldn't have been allowed.
She would have been at the wake, but...
Ruddy Ada. I don't know who I need to write to about that, but I'm incensed. That's really sad,
It's annoying, isn't it? Can I just say, in my book?
Yes.
In my book.
The future Mrs.
Oh, this is a spoiler.
The future Mrs. Collins?
It's a spoiler.
No, what's it called?
Introducing Mrs. Collins.
Introducing Mrs. Collins, out in November.
The will and the wake.
Mrs. Bennett.
Yes.
Who people will remember that she's a very, very annoying.
She's nervy,
annoying woman. She's very nervy. She's very annoying. But a little redemption arc for her is Mr. Bennett sadly passes away in my book.
Oh.
And she and all her daughters insist on attending the funeral in the church. Because she, like, part of what's annoying about her, she has no sense of what's conventional. She doesn't like arranged any education for her daughters.
No.
Like she's
very gauche, isn't she?
Socially, she's very gauche.
Awful, yeah.
And this is part of it. It's very gauche of her. But she just goes, no, shut up. Like, of course I'm going to attend the funeral. And it's frowned upon. She's frowned upon as she always is. But actually, I'm like, others might think of it as rather modern.
I love that. Yeah. So through your book, out in November, Introducing Mrs. Collins, you are rewriting the rules, my friend.
The rules of mourning in Regency times.
God, that's great.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Where's my phone?
Let's get your phone. No. Charlie, could we possibly have the phone?
No.
Oh, no.
That's it.
Oh, where's my phone? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were asking. I thought you'd written it down as a note.
Keep this in. I love how smooth you were, Charlie.
I know.
Get her phone.
I hope I said please. I probably didn't, did I?
No, I think you did. I think
God,
you were
I
nice.
showed my true colours. I've actually gone red.
No, sorry. It would be where's my phone. It has got worse. It has got worse. I know I'm dying in nature, but nonetheless, I think I'd be like on Google Maps. I'd be like, where am I? But something's happened with my phone that it began as like a family joke a few years ago that I never knew where my phone was.
Right.
And I do mean like even in the house, like how do you lose your phone in one house?
Yeah.
Several times a day.
Oh.
Like I would say every half an hour.
Oh, God.
I'm like, where's my phone? And I really look and it's not anywhere. There is a chance that Marcus is gaslighting me. But I don't think I am because it really irritates. It's very irritating for him.
And then he has to phone it the whole time.
Yeah, or I have to. Well, also another bugbear is that it's always on silent. Always.
Oh,
it doesn't
that's
even
really
vibrate.
annoying. Yeah, that's really
so there's no point in him ringing it. I have to find my laptop then, which I often don't know where my laptop is. To do, and then it needs charging. So I have to charge my laptop.
Oh no,
and
this
then
is
turn that
weakening
on.
me.
Then to do find my phone.
I'm weak. Yeah.
And make a sound, and then have to go and find my phone.
Oh.
I never know where my phone is, and I cannot. When I do often find it, I'm like, how did I put it there? I'll have put it
in your pocket.
No, never in my pocket.
By the loo. Classic.
Sometimes by the loo.
Classic.
But often on a really random, like on top of, like I'll have opened a food cupboard and like put it on top of a cereal box. It's so, I can't tell you how often I've lost my phone. And me saying, where's my phone? It's become, yes, it's a joke in the household, but it is also like it's annoying for me because I'm like, but it's also annoying for everyone else.
Yeah. I like that. Not that I get to say, look, whether you're allowed it or not, it's what you choose. And I'm just saying, I think it's rather good.
Thank you.
Good. Now, listen, we heard at the very top of the show why you think you should be allowed to go possibly upstairs rather than downstairs. We like to bring this to full circle at this point in the podcast where we say to you, dear Rachelle.
Spin for your sins.
So, your fate is actually going to be determined by where you end up on this wheel after a spin. Okay. Rachelle, I have loved this.
Me too. It's been really nice.
It's been so nice. Do you know what? I feel like I've sort of, because I know Marcus, your husband, and I've met you a few times. And it's always very fleeting. It's just really nice to hang out with you.
Yeah, you too.
Sit and actually chat.
Nice vibe.
Oh, great vibes. I could literally talk about Jane Austen for about 7 hours. I'm obsessed.
Come to my house.
I'd like to come to your house.
I will talk your ass off about Jane Austen.
And I'd love to come on a lot of Mondays at the Vaudeville Theatre in the West End.
Thanks.
Where you'll be appearing with Ostentatious.
Yes, we'll give you a bonnet.
And my brother?
Yes, we'll give him a bonnet.
He is going to go nuts for this.
We've got various headgear for men to borrow if they'd like to.
He's quite bald as well, so any headgear is good for him.
Well, we've got top hats, obviously, but we have also got sort of quite a funny wee willy winky type hat.
Yes, please.
And I feel like that'd be nice.
He also goes to bed at about 9 p.m, so that'll be very, very apt.
Perfect.
But he won't be asleep in your show.
No,
Rachelle,
he'll be laughing his socks off.
He's going to absolutely bloody love it. Now, yes, so if you wouldn't mind reaching forward to start spinning.
I might be reborn.
You might be reborn.
Ooh.
There's only one segment which is reborn.
It's unlikely.
On that wheel, but give it a go.
Okay,
May happen.
ready.
You can find out where Rachel will be resting for eternity by joining us adjacently on 6 Feet Under. It's a bonus podcast. Goddess Charlie, she of the could I have the phone, please, Charlie? Will be joining us to dig into more of your brilliant correspondence. I've gone into newsreader mode again. Do make sure that you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or head to wherethere'sawillthere'sawake.com to join the party. Come and be adjacent. You're listening to Where There's a Will, There's a Wake with Mel Giedroyc. The senior producer's Charlie Morrell and the producer is Naya Dio, otherwise known as the Goddesses. The engineer is Matthias Torres. The assistant producer is Rani Prescott, the production coordinator is Eric Ryan, and the executive producer is Ollie Wilson.